Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning for another news update for Monday, September 22, 2025. And I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, machete-wielding woman beater charged. The police have arrested and charged the man seen in a now viral video brutally beating a woman with a machete. He has been identified as 42-year-old taxi operator Cleon Buckle, a resident of Freeman's Hall District in Albertown, Trelawney. Buckle was arrested and charged on Friday, September 19 by the Ulster Spring Police following the machete attack. Investigators from the Trelawney Center for Investigation of Sexual Offences and Child Abuse indicated that an arrest warrant had previously been issued for Buckle in connection with a separate case. He is accused of repeatedly sexually assaulting a minor in 2024. Arrangements are being made for Buckle to be interviewed and formally charged with these additional offenses. He is scheduled to appear in the Ulster Spring Parish Court on Monday, October 6 to address the unlawful wounding charge. Reports are that about 10:30 a.m. on September 14, the woman went to Buckle's home to retrieve a car key. An argument ensued, escalating when Buckle allegedly used a machete to strike the woman on her arm before continuing to attack her repeatedly across her body. A report was made to the police, an investigation was launched, and Buckle was subsequently taken into custody and charged. The viral video shows the man wielding a machete and hitting the woman repeatedly as she desperately tries to elude him. At one point, as the woman slumped to the ground, there was an inaudible exchange of words between her and the machete wielder. In the video, two men can be seen successfully trying to restrain the assailant. The assault only ended when one of the bystanders stepped between the attacker and the weeping victim. On Sunday, the Trelawney neighborhood movement condemned the beating of the woman as it urged the Jamaicans to end the gender-based violence. The Trelawney neighborhood movement strongly condemns the recent violent incident in which a woman was brutally beaten with a machete. This act is not only inhumane but represents a grave violation of the dignity and the safety of our women, read a portion of the statement over the signature of Desiree Goburn, Divisional Council President of the Trelawney Neighborhood Watch. Man dies in single vehicle crash in St. Elizabeth. A man is dead following a single vehicle crash along the Goshen Main Road in St. Elizabeth on Sunday. The deceased has been identified as 25-year-old Ricardo Foster of Goshen in the parish. It is understood that about 5 a.m., Foster was driving a gray Honda motorcar heading towards Santa Cruz from Goshen when he lost the control of the vehicle, which then swerved off the road and crashed into a tree. Foster was flung from the car upon impact, suffered severe injuries, and died on the spot. Police suspect that speeding was the cause of the fatal crash, which left the Goshen community in shock. Teachfield student dies in suspected drowning at Bikini Beach. A teenager died in a suspected drowning at Bikini Beach in Port Antonio, Portland on Sunday. The deceased has been identified as Vijay Popley of New Road in Port Antonio, who was an upper sixth form student at Teachfield High School in the town. The news understands that about 11:15 a.m., Popley was among a group of 8 students from the institution to visit the beach. They were all engaged in swimming activities when Popley went missing. One of the students reported the matter to the Port Antonio Marine Police Station. The Port Antonio Fire Station was also informed, and a team of firefighters arrived and joined in a search for the missing boy along with the local fishermen. About 1:35 p.m., Popley was found unresponsive by the search team. He was transported to the Port Antonio Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The body was removed to a funeral home for a post-mortem examination. Court acquits pump attendants in alleged credit card scam. 5 pump attendants implicated in a debit and a credit card scam that defrauded customers of more than $1.1 million has been freed of fraud charges. The women, who were initially charged with possession of identity information, simple larceny, and the conspiracy to defraud, were formally cleared of all charges following a ruling by Senior Parish Judge Desiree Aline last Thursday after the complainant opted to discontinue the case. Latoya Walker, 37, Chevelle White, 39, Aniqua Morrison, 27, Aisha Campbell, 25, and Teresa Douglas, 19, were employed as pump attendants and the customer service representatives at a gas station in St. Catherine where the alleged fraudulent activities occurred. According to the prosecution, between October and December 2023, the women conducted several unauthorized transactions by entering the card information which was taken from unsuspecting customers. The alleged total amount of fraudulent transactions was said to be over $1.1 million, which was reportedly discovered by the bank's fraud prevention unit after customers filed complaints about compromised accounts. Following investigation, the accused were arrested and charged. However, the case has been delayed because of the unavailability of witnesses. On September 1, the Crown requested another adjournment because of issues with securing witnesses, but this was met with objections from the defense. Attorneys Javid Grant and Stephen Powell both argued that there were too many postponements and submitted that the case should be dismissed for want of prosecution. The defense also submitted that the wrong individuals had been brought before the court for these alleged offenses. Senior Parish Judge Aline, however, granted the adjournment but insisted that the Crown take all reasonable steps to secure the witnesses. On Thursday, when the case returned to court, the defense renewed its application for the matter to be dismissed. However, the complainant informed the court that he no longer wished to proceed with the case, leading to the acquittal of all 5 women. Grant represented Walker, while Stephen Powell represents White and Campbell. Program for trainee doctors oversubscribed, says Health Ministry. Following recent complaints from several China-trained doctors that their internship applications in Jamaica were reportedly rejected 1 month after their expected response deadline, the Ministry of Health and Wellness says that the internship program is already oversaturated, with 500 applications having been received this year. In a media release yesterday, Dr. Jacqueline Besseser McKenzie, the Chief Medical Officer of Jamaica, said more than 250 interns have been placed on the program within the past 3 years. Approximately 500 persons applied for internship positions this year, with approximately 70% being foreign medical graduates from over 100 different medical schools. We are oversubscribed as we are limited in the number of interns that we can take, said Mrs. McKenzie. In the selection process, preference is given to Jamaicans who have studied locally and overseas, and particularly those on Government of Jamaica scholarships administered through the Minister of Finance and the Public Service. We are reviewing the program with a view to increasing the numbers and standardizing the allotment to hospitals, she continued. In an article published in the Journal on Saturday, it was reported that at least 30 doctors who did 6 years of training in China beginning in 2019 had applied for internships at several hospitals in the island after they graduated in April this year. However, while they were expecting responses by July, they reportedly got rejection letters 1 month past that deadline. The affected doctors also alleged that during a meeting on July 21 with Professor Colette Mary, the then acting director in charge of the Health Ministry's Health Planning and Integration Services branch, they were told that certain protocols would be enforced, such as the exclusion of candidates from institutions not accredited by the Caribbean Accreditation Authority for Education in Medicine and other health professions. However, they insisted they were not told of the policy shift during their application process. Besseser McKenzie asserted that the Health Ministry placed the interns into programs from 9 medical schools other than the University of the West Indies. She said that starting in September this year, the program has graduates from 22 foreign medical schools to include 6 in China, 5 in Cuba, 7 offshore universities in the Caribbean, 1 in Mexico, and 3 in Eastern Europe. As we are having graduates from so many programs from so many countries, it is important that we ensure that there is an objective method of selection. For this application period, we are requesting that applicants indicated their passes in the Medical Council of Jamaica recognized the qualifying examinations, said Bessie Sir Mackenzie. These are the Caribbean Association of Medical Councils examinations, United States Medical Licensing examinations, and the Professional and Linguistics Assessments Board test. We are looking at a phased approach to requiring passes in these examinations before internship, Bessie Sir Mackenzie continued. We will be working with the UWI Faculty of Medical Sciences to ensure that opportunities are available for courses to prepare for the CMC exams. Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.